Hi friend, it's Mandi. I'm so glad you're here. A brand new year, January. I love January for its raw exposure, but if I'm being truly honest, it's taken me years to learn to love winter. Or a more appropriate word would be to respect winter. I'll share a little bit about myself. I grew up in Atlanta. The only reason I had a winter coat was for fashion. It was proper to wear a coat in the winter, whether it was cold or not. When my first husband and I moved up here to the mountains, I must admit I was out of my element. Of course, I'd been to the mountains for summer camp, but I'd also seen the movie Deliverance, and being raised inside the perimeter in Atlanta, I'd be lying if I said it was a smooth transition. We had rented a little cabin. At the time, I was pregnant with our first child, my son Robert. He turns 25 in March. And the little cabin was wonderful. It was at the back of a 26-acre property. We could hike the property. Our dog Jack didn't need a leash. And the rent was a whopping $450 a month. My husband was in hog heaven. It was very primitive. We had a wood stove, wormy chestnut paneled walls and floors, a little creek in the back. It was my very own living, breathing version of Little House on the Prairie. But along with all the wonderfulness also came a lot of fear. Fear about being so far from my mom and dad when I was having a baby, fear about having a baby, fear about not having a mailbox. We were called rural, and that meant we needed a P.O. box. I was a mall girl, a valley girl. I wore Guess jeans and high heels, and I didn't want to be rural. I had fear about simple, shallow things, but also fear about deep, enduring things. But all of it equated to a fear based on uncertainty, things I couldn't predict, fear of the unknown. Perhaps you've experienced similar types of fears in your own life. The kind of fear that can sneak up on you when you least expect it. The kind of fear that can underlie an otherwise wonderful experience. This fear of the unknown can really steal your ability to feel contentment or joy in the present moment. And it can be overwhelming, mentally, physically, creating fractured, scattered thoughts, literally making your heart race. Have you ever wondered why this happens? Especially with a fear of the unknown. Why do we feel this fear so intensely? Why is just imagining an unknown potential able to create such an experience of fear as if it's actually happening in real time? The answer lies deep within our brains. Specifically, a small but mighty part of the brain called the amygdala. This little structure is the brain's emotional center, and it plays a huge role in processing fear. Scientists tell us that fear doesn't just live in our minds. It's actually written into the very cells of our body. Fear is written into our cells from our past experiences, the things we've been taught, things we've seen or learned, all shape how we react to fear. When we feel threatened, the amygdala lights up, triggering our fight or flight response. This is why simply knowing about fears intellectually doesn't always help us overcome them physiologically. It's like knowing that a road is bumpy, but still feeling every jolt when you drive over it. The key to transforming fear of the unknown is seeing it differently. Instead of viewing uncertainty as something to be afraid of, we can choose to see it as a portal to new experiences. So every time we step into the unknown, we have this opportunity to grow, to learn, to expand beyond our comfort zone. Until we can see our fears more clearly, we really can't truly address them in a meaningful way. We're all familiar with Roosevelt's inauguration speech in the middle of the Great Depression when, in an effort to lift up hope, he said, "The only thing to fear is fear itself." But what if we don't have to fear fear itself? What if fear is not our enemy at all? What if we take this more mindful approach to fear and let fear be our guide? It might sound strange, but the truth is, when we stop running from fear, we really can start learning from it. Fear can teach us something valuable if we take a mindful approach and see it for what it is. The key is not to judge it or resist it, but to observe, acknowledge, embrace, allow it to exist without letting it control us. When we approach fear this way, it can be like opening a door to a deeper understanding of ourselves. And through this process, we're actually slowly rewiring our brain, filling in the grooves where fear used to dominate. Over time, the old habitual reactions become less automatic. Fear no longer drives us in the same way. And of course, it takes practice, it takes patience, it takes a willingness to sit with the discomfort of fear, but it's absolutely possible. When we bring mindful awareness to the present moment, we can observe our fears without being controlled by them. So instead of letting our fears rule our thoughts, we can look at them with curiosity and compassion. Mindfulness doesn't erase fear, but it allows us to be with our fear without letting it take over. The more we practice, the less power our fear has over us. An author and teacher in the 1960s, Alan Watts, said by replacing fear of the unknown with curiosity, we open ourselves up to an infinite stream of possibility. We can let fear rule our lives, or we can become childlike with curiosity, pushing our boundaries, leaping out of our comfort zones, and accepting what life puts before us. The next time you feel a fear from uncertainty or fear about the unknown future ahead, try thinking of fear like a guest that arrives uninvited. Instead of pushing it away or acting like it isn't there, try inviting it in. Sit with it for a moment. What does it feel like? What sensations arise? By simply observing fear without judgment, we allow it to lose its power over us. It's when we stop resisting it, when we stop denying it, when we stop trying to predict the outcome in an unknown potential, that we begin to transform the emptiness of the fear of the unknown with the fullness of curiosity and compassion. By approaching fear in this new mindful way, we can begin to learn to navigate it with ease without letting it control our lives. By replacing fear of the unknown with curiosity, we open ourselves up to an infinite stream of possibility. And that's all for now. We really will have class this Wednesday at 1. I've missed you all so much. See you then. Peace.